All right, hello class. This is the MUCT 112L, the second quarter, winter quarter ear training class. This is your first remote lecture, your midweek lecture for week two, so the first one of the quarter. Of course, you are going to need to have your textbooks, both your Berkowitz and Kazez textbooks, with you as you do this activity, otherwise it won't make any sense. You should have already watched the 5 videos, The Secrets of the Scale, Major, the 3 Minors, and the Chromatic video. Always keep those in mind if you're wanting kind of a refresher or a primer on where things tend to go in the different scales, their different tendencies. Those are good things to consult. But for now, I am going to assume that you know them, you have them written down and or memorized, and that we can warm them up. We can warm up on those scales without writing them down here on the board. So I'm going to go over here to the piano and we're going to warm up on the scales in order, major and then so on. Let's begin. One pass through the major scale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. Let's move now to the natural minor mode. The natural minor mode. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. All right, let's do the harmonic minor mode. 2, 3, 4. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. And the melodic minor mode. 2, 3, 4. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. And let's end our warm-up with the chromatic scale. Unlike the Secrets of the Scales video, we won't stop at the top and then reset to go down the bottom. We'll only hit the top do once. Okay, so ti, do, ti, te, la. We'll just go straight through like any other scale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do, di, re, mi, mi, fa, fi, sol, si, la, li, ti, do, ti, ti, la, li, sol, si, fa, mi, re, la, do. All right, now that we're all warmed up, let's go ahead and begin in the Berkowitz book. In the Berkowitz book. We spent Friday's class reviewing some of the things that we had done last quarter, and we will continue in the midweek lecture for week 2 to do review exercises. We'll get basically right to the point at which we stopped in the fall quarter in the intro class, and then by Friday we'll have new material to do. So open up your Berkowitz book, if you would please, to page, let's see, to page 19. Page 19 in the Berkowitz book, The New Approach to Sight Singing book by Sol Berkowitz, available through the bookstore or online, but be careful about that. Make sure that you get the correct edition, the 5th edition. Okay, on 19, page 19, we're going to go ahead and begin with number 70. 70. Okay, a brief analysis of this example will show that we are in the harmonic minor mode. Notice the bottom note is T, the top note is Le. Okay, within that little bubble there, that's very indicative of harmonic minor mode. D harmonic minor. We'll roll the key and go ahead and sing this one together. I'll give you one subdivided measure, rather slow. 1 and 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 and do do re do ti do re mi do re mi fa sol le so fa mi do re mi fa sol le so fa mi re mi do do re mi fa sol le so do re mi fa sol le so fa mi re do ti do re mi fa re do do do. Good. And if it's difficult at first to get used to movable do solfege, you can practice these multiple times until you feel comfortable with it. All right, let's go on to another review example. Turn the page to page 20. And on page 20, you'll see we're doing some compound meter stuff, some 6/8 stuff. And each of these on 20 are pairs. If you look at number 74 and number 75, they are identical in melodic contour, but one is in D major and the other is in D melodic minor. So let's go ahead and do those two, one and then the other. We're in the same key. Sounds like I went sharp on the previous one, which is always happens. All right, this is D major. So let's try number 74 on the top of page 20. I'm going to give you a subdivided 2 measures worth, and then we'll come right in on it. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and do re mi fa sol la ti do ti la so fa mi re do. All right, let's try number 75. Same melodic contour, but notice as it ascends, the 6th and 7th scale degrees are raised, or they made what they are in the major mode, and then are lowered again as they descend. So classic melodic minor mode. A little slower. 1 and 2 and do re mi fa sol la ti do te le so fa mi re do. All right, and let's do another pair. Let's do another pair at the bottom of page 20. Let's do numbers 78 and 79. And we're just staying in the key of D. This first one is in D major, the second one is in D minor. Okay, this one has a little bit more in the way of leaps in it. Okay, so let's watch out for that. Remember, leaps are not scary. They are almost always, 99% of the time, outlining some sort of structure that you already know. All right. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and do mi fa sol la so fa sol do ti la so fa mi re do mi fa sol la so fa sol do ti la so fa mi re mi do. All right, let's do the same thing in number 79, just this time in D natural minor. Well, I'll give you one measure and we'll come in. 1 and 2 and do, me, fa, sol, sol, le, sol, fa, sol, do, te, le, sol, fa, me, re, do, me, fa, sol, sol, le, sol, fa, sol, do, do, te, le, sol, fa, me, re, do. Great. All right, that is enough of a melodic reading for right now. We've basically got right to where we ended last quarter. Okay, so again, because this is YouTube, you can pull that slider back and practice any one of these as often as you want. Let's switch over to rhythm now. So pull out your Daniel Kazez rhythm reading book, and let's do a few more review exercises and get right up to where we need to be. Let's begin in Chapter 1. Please go to page 18. Last Friday, we did number 21 on page 18, representing simple meter. We're going to do a number of other examples here in Chapter 1 with the simple meter stuff. We'll start with number 22, the one after we did. All right, and a note in this exercise, there's a sentence just above number 22 there, which is really, really excellent wisdom, where it says, in this exercise, be sure to choose a tempo that is slow enough to allow you to perform the measures with the fastest notes. Because as you can see, if you looked only at the first 3 measures of number 22, if you looked at those and none others, you would think, oh, lots of long notes. We'll go ahead and take a fast tempo. And you would be horrified to learn later that there were 16th notes in there, and you would be in some trouble. So make sure always, first thing that you should do is look at the statistics. Look at the meter, look at the mode if you're doing a melodic thing, look at what the subdivisions look like, how quick are the notes, are there slow notes at the beginning and fast notes at the end, and you need to find a tempo that's reasonable. So scan through the whole thing you see. From measure 4 on, you've got quite a lot of 16th notes. So your first 3 measures are going to need to be reasonably tempoed. So let's choose a good reasonable tempo here. For number 22, I will give you 1 subdivided measure in 4/4, and let's T and ticky our way through this, just like we've been doing in class. 1, 2 E and 3 and 4 E and T, 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 ticky, T, 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 ticky, ticky, T, 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 ticky, T, ticky, ticky, T, T, ticky, ticky, T, T, ticky, ticky, T, 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 ticky, T, T, ticky, ticky, T, T, ticky, T, T, ticky, ticky, T, off. Great. Now turn to the facing page, the next page over, 19, and let's do number 24. Now, part of scanning and scanning through the example is, of course, to look for fast notes, but also to look for pitfalls, look for potential traps. And Daniel Kazez, the author of this book, is very good at setting traps. So if you look at number 24, and if I were to ask you, what are the things in this example that are potentially challenging? Some examples, some answers might include, well, look, he ties across the bar line. Yes, that is true. Between the first and second measure, between the 5th and 6th measure, between the 9th and 10th measure. He ties over a bar line so that the downbeat, beat 1, is obscured. And that tends to, as I said, obscure the beat and make it a little bit more difficult. The meter changes themselves. They're on measure 10, and then back at measure 15 we switch from 2/4 to 3/4 to 2/4 times. So you kind of have to change your groove, your idea. One thing that I would say, the rests. There are a number of rests, some of them comprising an entire measure. You have to be patient through those sections. All right, number 24. I will give you 2 measures subdivided in 2/4, and let's go for it. 1 and 2 E and a 1 E and a 2 and T T ticky T T T. T ticky T T T. T T T T T T ticky T T T T T T T T T ticky T T T ticky T T T T ticky 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 T. All right, and let's do one more on the next page, the next one, number 25. Go forward to page 20, number 25. Okay, this one is, as far as the figures, the rhythmic figures are concerned, is no more easy or difficult than the previous ones. What does make it odd is the 5/4 time signature. So let's go ahead and try that. This one you just have to make sure that you're counting the quarter notes, the quarter rests, the pulse, the macro pulse, very carefully to make sure that you don't transpose it into 6/4 or 4/4, one of the more well-known and widely used meters. I'll give you 1 measure subdivided in 5 and we'll be in it. 1, 2 E and a 3 and 4 E and a 5 and T T T T ticky 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 T T ticky T T ticky T T T ticky ticky T T T T T T T T T ticky T ticky ticky T ticky T T T ticky ticky T ticky ticky T T T T T T T T ticky ticky T. And make sure you count and subdivide through the very end. It's good practice. Okay, let's switch to some compound meter. We'll do a few examples in there. Okay, go forward to measure 33. And let's do some compound meter. Important. Establish that groove. Excuse me, page 34 is what I meant. Page 34. All right. Now, like simple meter, compound meter has some similar, though not identical, pitfalls and issues to deal with. If I were to ask you what was difficult about number 46, you might say, well, there's a lot of 16th notes, true. And again, a lot of ties across the bar line. You can see in at least 4 examples. So I'll give you 2 measures subdivided in 6/8. Note that that beat 1 of the first measure is a rest, and then we come in on 2. 1 and 2 and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 1. T T ticky ticky T. T ticky ticky T T. T, 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 ticky, 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 T, 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 ticky, 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 T, T, ticky, ticky, T. T, 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 ticky, 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 T. T, 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 ticky, 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 T, T, ticky, 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 T, ticky, 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 T. Good. Go over to the next page, page 35, and let's try number 51. Number 51 on this page. All right, this one is in 12/8 time, and what I find to be difficult about 12/8 time, especially when it's double subdivided down into 16th notes, is just the measures are so long, especially when you have a lot of subdivision going on. It just takes a long time for the measures to resolve themselves, so it's easy to get lost in there. So let's try this one. A lot of dynamics in this one too. Let's do those as well. One measure in 12/8 time, subdivided, and we're in at number 51. 1e and a 2e and a 3 and a 4e and a T, ticky, ticky, T, ticky, ticky, T, 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 T. T, 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 ticky, T, ticky, T, 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 T. Ticky, 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 T, ticky, T. Ticky, 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 T, T. T, T, ticky. T, 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 ticky, T, ticky, 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 ticky. Ticky, 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 T, T, T. All right, next page, page 36. Let's try number 53, a 9/8 example. We haven't worked with 9/8, but this one has meter changes in it as well. 9/8 to 6/8 to 9/8 again. Okay, a lot of not a ton of dynamics in this, but the articulations, the accents, where they are very helpful to keep the beat. Notice that when they provide accents, that is to establish the beat. They're on the downbeats, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, two measures in subdivided 9/8. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1e and 2e and 3 and T, 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 ticky, T, ticky, T. Ticky, T, ticky, T, T, ticky, ticky, T, T, ticky, T, ticky, T. T, T, ticky, T, 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 ticky, T, T. T, ticky, T, ticky, T, ticky, 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 T, T. T, ticky, ticky, T, 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 ticky, ticky, T, T, ticky, T. T, ticky, ticky, T. Ticky, T, ticky, T, T, T. Ticky, T, ticky, 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 T. Off. All right, and we're going to try two examples now of, if you go to the next page, page 37, number 56, the only example on that page, of one of the kind of idiosyncrasies of compound time is the 3/8. It's not really an idiosyncrasy, but it's where the beat and the measure are the same thing, because we typically, though not exclusively, but typically do 3/8 with the dotted quarter note as the beat. So in 1, or 6/8 with the dotted quarter note as the beat in 2, 9/8 in 3, 12/8 in 4. So when I say measure or beat, it means the same thing. Okay, so it has a very specific lilt, a nice feel. So let's try number 56. So I'll give you 4 measures, which is the same as saying 4 beats to get in. 1 and a 1-y and a 1-y and a 1 and a T, T, ticky, ticky, T, T, ticky, 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 T. Ticky, T, T, ticky, ticky, T, 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 ticky, T, T, ticky, ticky, ticky. Ticky, 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 T. Off and turn the page to page 38. We'll do one more. Number 57, which is the top of the page. Same thing, we're in 3/8 time. 1, but there's a lot of things coming off of the beat. Notice that the first 1/8 note in each beat in many of the measures is gone. So the downbeat, which is a rest, kind of catapults us or jumps us off into the rest of the measure. Ticky, ticky, T, T, ticky, ticky, etc. I find taking a breath in on that downbeat is helpful because it's a physical thing that I'm doing rather than just waiting. It's almost taking some sort of an action. It's almost like I'm playing that first note just with a breath relatively silent. We can try many different things in class. So again, I'll give you 4 measures, which are 4 beats, to get in. 1 and a 1 and a 1-y and a 1-y and a ticky, ticky, T, 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 T. Ticky, ticky, T, 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 T. Ticky, ticky, T, 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 ticky, ticky, T, 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 ticky, 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 T, T. Ticky, T, ticky, T. Ticky, T, ticky, 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 T. You'll notice in measure 21 I did make a little mistake there. That, of course, is always possible. All right, so this completes the review portion. There's one more thing that we did in class last quarter that it's really not easy to do on a video like this is some of the harmonic stuff that we did, singing in duets, tuning intervals. We'll do those in class coming up this Friday to review that portion. But this is the midweek lecture. Between this and the secrets of the scales, it's kind of a lot of video. This is by far going to be the longest thing. Set of videos you're going to have. Usually you're just going to have one video in this format. Okay? We will see you guys on Friday, and we'll start with some new material then. See you then.